sometime during the day on the 4th of December, we were informed that the president was out of town. However, his seat was still very much intact. Somewhere around 4:35 that same day, we were informed that the former First Lady was coming to the event. And so we had to make arrangements, and the seats became 20 to accommodate the former First Lady. And therefore, if you see from this illustration, we have 20 seats. The head of state seat is still in the center, and to the right, you see this red mark here. Protocol-wise, this became the center. This now becomes the center seat. And protocol-wise, the president always sits, the head of state always sits on the right of the center seat. And for that reason, I had to vacate this seat to go and sit here for the head of state. This is the illustration to confirm what I mentioned at our press conference. The head of state's seat was in the center on the 4th of December and was also there on the 4th of December. But protocol-wise, because this seating arrangement became 20, the center, the president and head of state sits to the right of the center seat. And therefore, my seat, I had to vacate my seat to sit here. So the president of the Republic of Ghana and head of state always had a seat at that occasion. So this explains, in addition to my illustration, that wherever we host an event, the Millennium Excellence Foundation makes arrangement for the head of state, and the founder is always seated next to the head of state on that row. And this is the illustration.
This is why it's called the invasion.
Thank you very much. And protocol-wise, the head of state sits here, and this is why it's called the presidential gold table. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I was watching the presentation of the Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry, and he made a statement that 17 seats were on the high table. I'd like to make a small correction. When he mentioned all the names, he mentioned the former president and head of state, John Rawlings, and his wife. That is 2. So that makes that 18. Now, he did not mention our chairman, Ambassador Gbeho, and he did not mention Joe Mensah from Cosmos. So if you add those 2 with the former First Lady, it becomes 20. So those who were seated on that table on that day were His Excellency, the head of state and president of the Republic of First Lady. So those who were seated on that table on that day were His Excellency, the head of state,
Thank you. We will have to assist you to speak to some of the documents that you. We wrote to you to furnish us with some documentation, and you supplied us with a letter that you wrote to the Minister of Trade and Industry titled Top Expatriates Business Awards, Ghana, TEPA. Is that right? So, honorable members, we'll label it MEF 1. Then you also supplied us with a list of expatriate businesses identified.
That's correct.
23 in all.
That's
a single sheet.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
So we label it MEF 2. And then there's a third document titled Names of Persons Who Attended GEBA December 4th. It's about a 5-sheet with a list of names. 5 sheets with a list of names. You cannot trace what yours. You can have a look at this one and identify it for us.
No, these are the limits. Yes, can I have this one? Yeah, please. Two copies.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So that will be MEF 3.
MEF 3
is the third document. And then your solicitor or lawyer wrote to the committee upon your instructions. So we have Gazes, Wennis, Hughes, and Co. A letter from that chambers. So we don't. So we'll label the letter from the solicitors as MEF 4.
Yes, sir. He's going to make a copy. So that is MEF 3. That's MEF 3. And this is MEF 4. Please. Yeah. This is MEF 1. And then your letter is MEF 4. This one.
I think we'll have to go back and reorder the labeling.
Thank you.
1 will stand, MEF 1 will stand as it is. Then,
Mr. Chairman, MEF 1 is the letter, the copy of the letter that says Top Expatriate Business Awards,
yes,
dated 6th April.
Yeah, the one that, yes.
Thank you very much.
6 April.
Thank you.
The 6 April letter. Yeah. And then we will rather label the transmitter letter, the one that you wrote to us with the accompanying documents, as 2.
Okay.
As 2. The request to furnish documentation and invitation to attend upon special committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could get a copy.
That will be MEF 2.
2, yes. If I could get a copy of that, please.
And then the expatriate businesses identified will be 2A.
Thank you.
Because it was attached to the transmitter letter.
Thank you.
And then the list of people who attended the program will be 2B.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
And then we'll label the letter from the solicitors as MEF 3.
How are you? You're okay. Thank you. So far, so good.
So you have all the documents with you now?
We're waiting, Mr. Chairman, for the photocopies from the lady.
Oh.
You have MEF 2A.
Yes, I don't have 2B.
You don't have 2B.
Yes. I don't have the cover letter.
And you don't have MEF
2B is the list of those who attended.
Yes. I don't have MEF 2 and 2B.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr.
I don't
Chairman.
have. Go ahead. Okay, use yours.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Well done. I don't think he knows of the cover letter. MEF 2. Hang on. Copy of
Yes.
MEF 2. The cover letter. A copy of MEF
2. So this is 2B. 2. Thank you. No, I'm not sure at all.
Ambassador Ashim Morton,
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
the ministry related to us that you signed a memorandum of understanding with them.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have a copy of the MOU so that we take it into evidence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So you tender it, we ask the clerks to make copies. We'll give back your copy to you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Okay. The gentleman is running copies of the MOU for us. But in the meantime, I think we can begin. It's not an interrogation, but we are seeking clarifications and asking questions relating to your presentation and other matters that have been put before us already. We may seek your views on some of those matters. Honorable Yao Boabia Samwa will begin the process.
Thank you, Chairman. Ambassador Victor Beho, if I may start with you. In your presentation, you did say that the foundation is known for its expertise in fundraising. What kind of expertise and how was that expertise applied in the current exercise?
Thank you. When an organization like the Millennium Excellence Foundation sets out to raise funds for a particular event, it has first of all to sit down and decide what kind of sponsorship it wants. You probably have noticed that in the case of the Expatriate Business Awards, that we went to the same people and of course others who were award winners or who later on became award winners for sponsorship. In some other cases, we avoid nominated persons or organizations. But each one has to be carefully judged, and also the approach should be carefully measured in order not to suffer total rejection. The expertise that you also require is to how to put your case to the potential sponsor in order to elicit an affirmative answer. The another expertise is that you should choose the time of approaching sponsors very carefully in order to ensure that their responses would meet your demands. Chairman, it's these sorts of expertise that I was talking about, and I can say once again that in the 2 decades of its existence, our foundation has gained considerable experience in managing the fundraising. Thank you.
And in this case, after careful consideration with all your expertise, you decided to seek sponsorship from the very same people who were going to be recognized and honored?
Among others. Thank you.